Go! 30 seconds. Excellent. Better round. The best one. Go. Round 5, your best. I got 10, and then I came down my chest. I got it. And then I completed. Come here. 15 seconds. 400. Come on. Come on. That's it. Go. Got it. Go. Good. Keep going. Go. That's it. Excellent. Here we go.
Same thing, like right away, like you're seeing like a very high level right away. And I just think that because there's so many guys like you to watch, there's so many guys like, you know, Khamzat and all these people, you get to see elite talent. So these young fighters that are coming up, they have a higher level
than
to
before.
A higher level to aspire.
Khamzat.
Oh, Khamzat.
Khamzat Chimaev.
Okay.
Colby Covington calls him cum shot. It's very rude.
Remember?
Does it say that, yo? He calls him what?
He calls him cum shot.
Adesanya, he said that too on the show.
He has some issues that he looks like a nice guy, but he's kind of psychopathic.
No, he's
right?
just full psychopath. Full psychopath.
Khamzat can get done the first round and a half, maybe. I just think that thing goes past the third and DDP takes over. I think he TKOs him.
I think Khamzat is a better striker, and I think Khamzat's a better wrestler, and I think DDP is a killer. But I think it's Khamzat's time.
Could be totally off on Khamzat. He's a minus 200. Dude, take money.
Really, you got DDP?
Yes, especially as a dog. I figured it'd be the favorite.
I have to say,
I figured DDP would be like a minus 150. Well,
He's a freak. He's a full psychopath, were the words that freckled out of the mouth of Joe Rogan. This came after Khamzat Chimaev's trainer uploaded clips of him training for UFC 319 where he'll be facing the middleweight champion draws duplexes. He's been working hard on his strength and conditioning, and it makes sense, because he'll be facing someone like DDP. We all know how scary of a fighter he is, but he is still walking into this fight as the second favorite to win, and as it stands, people are still betting against him. Do you know who?
Do you know who Khamzat Chimaev is?
Yes.
I can't wait to see that motherfucker fight again. Can he fight again tomorrow? When he's like, I killed them all. Dude, he is a fucking freak of nature. He's really smart. He knows what to do. He's got sick timing. Got a super genius fight mindset. Like you watch him fight.
At the same time, however, Joe Rogan spoke highly of Khamzat Chime and predicted him to win this fight. He claimed that Dricus is a big, strong, durable dude, but he believes Khamzat Chime is on another level when it comes to his wrestling and grappling, hinting at the same time that he is of the personal opinion that he has the best grappling and wrestling in all of the division. Here's what he had to say. The Khamzat wrestling skill is so high level that it makes me wonder.
Khamzat Chimaev is next.
Do you think it's different with Plessis?
He can wrestle. He's got very good jiu-jitsu. He hits hard, and he's a big, durable dude. But I don't know if he's going to be able to wrestle with that guy. Like, I don't know, man. The Khamzat's skill is so high level, it makes me wonder. In terms of, like, the grappling that he possesses seems magnitudes greater than anybody else in his division.
As if the praise wasn't already high enough, Joe Rogan is also of the opinion that although Khamzat Chime will be fighting for the middleweight championship, he would thrive at 170 in the welterweight division, and he is of the opinion that he would be quicker and show more lightning fast abilities that would make him a feared opponent.
I'd die. I wouldn't even, because I've seen some of these weight cuts where guys
like
and
Khamzat.
girls. Oh, bro.
Like when Khamzat would make 170.
Or even Cyborg.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You see her when she was in the tub crying and shaking, and Oliveira when they go and they huddle around him. It's when you cut weight though. I'll say this thing for me: when I cut weight, it's a spiritual experience sometimes.
Only issue, however, lies in his discipline to stick to the weight cutting, which is every fighter's biggest dread. When discussing weight cutting with Israel Adesanya, Izzy mentioned that Khamzat at 170 would be an absolute cyborg, and Joe Rogan would love to see a Khamzat fight in that weight class.
When Khamzat Chimaev beat Kevin Holland, I was in a very interesting situation because Khamzat weighed in 8.5 pounds overweight. And he fucked up the entire main event because he was supposed to be fighting Nate. He's supposed to be fighting Nate Diaz. So I was in a situation where I wanted to praise Khamzat because he just ragdolled Kevin Holland in one of the most spectacular performances of the year. I mean, he showed why he's the motherfucker of motherfuckers and why everybody's scared of him. But also, he weighed in 8.5 pounds overweight. He fucked up the entire promotion.
However, Khamzat knows what's on the line when facing DDP, who is known for his conditioning. A recent video shows him in full-motion wrestling takedown circuits, explosive grappling, continued heavy bag power sessions, all aligned to simulate fight conditions. The most notable part of the video was his focus on strength and conditioning, which is exactly what he needs against an opponent like DDP. Conditioning and stamina has been a real weakness in Chimaev's inventory, and it makes sense for him to be spending more time sharpening it. This is what many critics have been pointing out about him as well, one of them being former UFC champion Henry Cejudo. As Cejudo concluded, anyone naming to take that title off duplexes better be ready for a full to 5-minute war.
3-rounder or 5-rounder to get ready, but I don't see it. I just don't see it. I think DDP's too... I used to think he was the sloppiest thing on planet Earth, and I thought the same thing about Marab until they bring that volume and just the tenacity, and it changes everything. You know what I'm saying? They're able to mix things that makes it very, very problematic for people.
Now, let's take a look at what the experts are predicting for this fight. That is to happen in a month's time. Robert Whittaker, who himself has fought Khamzat, sees Chimaev relying heavily on his early takedowns and bringing the fight to the champ. Drich definitely has the conditioning backing for him, but if Chimaev can end it early, he's taking the belt home. So, a new middleweight champion for Whittaker. Yes, this is what he believes. And speaking in a podcast, he had this to say about Khamzat. Boris is powerful. I do believe he can win. His takedowns are crazy. Like, how do you even stop this guy?
Khamzat and DDP, the next fight. Who do you think is going to walk away as the champion?
I can't see anyone really stopping Chimaev's takedowns. Like, his takedowns are so hard to stop. It's super high level. Can DDP drag it into those later rounds? Can it get through the first grappling exchanges and then start to capitalize on his just like persistence, like doggedness to go away? Honestly, if Chimaev can't get DDP out of there, DDP wins. DDP wins almost every fight. You can't get rid of him, right? Because he's like bold, dude.
In agreement with this, there's Suninen who believes Chime could have the upper hand given how much flair he brings in the early minutes of the fight. Like Whittaker, he believes that the early minutes of the fight will be crucial for Khamzat. However, the unmatched conditioning of Dricus favors him as the fight goes on. So if the fight ends early, Suninen vouches for Khamzat. But if it goes on longer, he thinks that it's going to be DDP, possibly through a unanimous decision. He's got wrestling, he's got pressure, and he won't stop. I used to think Chime could end it in round 2, but every passing minute favors Drich.
Has trained with both of them. He said there's going to be an early storm by Chimaev, but he believes Dricus can sustain the storm, and each passing minute favors Dricus. Now, what he's talking about is conditioning. You asked me about that fight 2 years ago or a year ago, even 6 months ago. I would have quickly dismissed it and told you Chimaev. I would tell you Chimaev every single round. But I don't feel that way anymore. I feel and I'm seeing what other people are feeling and seeing. The greatness of Dricus, it is something that is now not only witnessed, but recognized. You believed as recently as Chimaev's last fight that nobody could touch him. And you're a very fickle group. And can he beat him? That's between those two. How does he beat him? He starts with plan A, which is to take him down and maul him. And if that doesn't work, which in the past it hasn't, He attempts to bludgeon him on his feet more than he gets bludgeoned. That's the answer to the question. That's how Chimaev would beat Dricus.
You know, Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev. How do you feel about this fight, and where do you see this fight going? Because obviously, as you know, I stepped in there with Khamzat on short notice.
I believe this. You know, everybody know I used to work with Khamzat, and I love the guy. I have a lot of love for him. I think it's like people seem this crazy guy, but he have a really good heart. He really does. If Khamzat right now, though, if he's focused, and if he's whatever he does, remember Khamzat never have a conditioning problem before this. After COVID, it really messed him up, and I was there. He was bleeding, thrown up. Like, it was one of the craziest things I ever seen. Like, thrown up, like blood. It was, and he was in Vegas, right? But also Khamzat moved, you know, just traveling, and he's a superstar. He's one of the biggest stars in the UFC. When you have this kind of pressure, sometimes people doesn't know how to handle it. And I think at one point, he walked away from that. He was his own boss, his own coach. But as far as I know now, he's in Russia, he's in camp, he's focused. It's hard to bet against focused Khamzat, healthy Khamzat. I think he can beat anyone on any given day.
Who do you think wins, Dricus or Khamzat, and what do you think the finishing sequence would look like? I could see Dricus winning. Chat, yes or no, most underrated part of Dricus du Plessis' game, jiu-jitsu. He actually scrambles really well from bottom position, really well. He's not going to let himself get mounted. He'll roll for like a leg and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? He'll roll for a leg, threaten a heel hook, and then use it to get back up and try and get back control. Like, he's actually really good at that shit.
Does Khamzat beat DDP?
Man, Khamzat could beat anybody in the world in about a round. Super impressed with what he did to Robert Whittaker. I don't see that against DDP. DDP's scrambly, man. You're going to need to really be able to pace yourself for 5 rounds. And with DDP's train just continue to keep rolling, and he's still steaming, and his train's still hot. It depends on how long DDP wants to take a break. You're going to have to prepare, man, for a guy like DDP. You're going to need a 3-rounder or a 5-rounder to get ready, but I don't see it. I just don't see it. I think DDP's too... I used to think he was the sloppiest thing on planet Earth, and I thought the same thing about Rob until they bring that volume and just the tenacity. It changes everything.